Hello everyone, my name is Bear, and today I want to be talking to you guys about my art process. Just a disclaimer, I'm not an expert by any means, and if I share like a tip or something that I find helpful, please take it with a whole bag of salt because I'm just a learner like everyone else, and I'm not trying to teach anyone anything. I'm just trying to show y'all how I make my art. But anyway, I always start with some guidelines that I draw over later on, and there's like a lot of like discourse, I guess, about guidelines and like if using them makes you a bad artist or not. And that is just so silly to me because like who actually gives a fuck? But I just like I think it's so inconsequential to like argue or talk about stuff like that because everyone's process is different and valid unless you use AI. If you use AI, you should be getting clowned for that. But sorry if you just heard my phone ring. I just got a text because I'm so popular. Oh, never mind. It was from my mom. Okay, anyway. Yeah. I do guidelines, and a lot of people like it varies how I guess complex your guidelines are. Like from a lot of people do complex guidelines. I certainly do. I basically just like draw everything and then draw it again when I'm doing my line art. But a lot of people just do like very skeletal, very basic guidelines, and that's okay. Like whatever you do, as long as it's not AI, again, like it's totally valid, and no one should be telling you anything for it. And if they do, don't listen to them. Like I know I shouldn't be listening to idiots on the internet sharing their opinions, but sometimes it gets to me. Like when people say using guidelines is like so amateur and you shouldn't use them anymore, like sometimes I think about it and I'm like, damn, should I be using guidelines? But all the validation I need is seeing Yusuke Murata, which I totally just like butchered his name, I'm so sorry, but the mangaka for One Punch Man, he uses guidelines a lot when drawing One Punch Man or any of his manga, and that's like all the validation I need. Like if he uses guidelines, then I can use guidelines. Like everyone shut up. And so once I'm done with the guidelines, which I don't think I'm done yet, but then I start my line art. Yeah, here we go. I'm starting my line art, and I usually go for faces first because they're like I think the most complicated parts of the body, because you know there's like so many nuances to facial anatomy that other parts of the body don't really have. And so I always try to get like the hardest part down first. And also I just really like drawing faces. Like, I don't know. I feel like everyone likes drawing faces and like eyes and stuff like that. And it's not my fault that it's the funnest part of the body to draw. So I draw the clothes on top of the anatomy that I drew on the guidelines because it just like drawing the anatomy that's going to be underneath the clothes just makes everything so much easier, and you can like get really creative with how the clothes fit and stuff. Like I drew the jacket kind of flying off because he's in motion. So I really like just like drawing the under anatomy first, and then I had to resize the leg because it was too short. I really like drawing like the under anatomy first and then the clothes, just because like I said, like you can get real creative with how the clothes interact with the body instead of drawing the clothes first. I mean, you can do that too, like I'm sure you can get really creative with it that way, but I just like doing it this way because I feel less constrained to the guidelines and I can have more fun with it. Because sometimes like the issue with guidelines I think is sometimes you rely on them too much, and then that kind of gets in the way of your understanding of anatomy and clothes and everything. So I always try to make my guidelines kind of like not reflective of the actual drawing, even though I said earlier like my guidelines are super complicated and kind of just like the original drawing, but that's only really for like the faces and the general anatomy, like I said. Because anatomy is hard, okay? But once you got it down, you can just like do whatever you want over it. And so it just makes it a lot easier just to do like the general anatomy first and then just do whatever you want over it. And then I do the shading and stuff over the faces. It's hard to do like line work over the faces because, and my art teacher actually told me this, my drawing teacher, or professor, sorry, I'm in college, I'm not, I'm not a high school student, I'm sorry, I'm 22, I'm old, but he actually said, like, oh, I like your style, but sometimes when you do line work on the face, the features get lost. And I was like, oh shit, you're so right. So that's why I tried to like make the shading on the face very minimal sometimes. So there's like a time and a place for it, you know what I mean? Like the shading on Archie's face, which is the figure on the left, is a bit more intense. Meanwhile, Arturo, the figure on the right, is a bit more subdued because if I were to shade like his whole face, then his features would get lost. So you kind of just have to like use your best judgment on how much shading you should do. And then once I have the line work done, I go to flats. I do flat colors first. Just because it's a bit easier, like once you have the flats down, you can just kind of do whatever you want over them. Like with the anatomy part I said earlier, like once you just have the basics down, it's fun to just do whatever you want over them, and it's a lot easier too. I was actually inspired by a Pinterest post for the colors, but I don't know if I saved it. If I saved it, I'll put it up on the screen. But I was just like looking at it like, oh my god, those colors are so pretty and I want to make a drawing like that. Like it's actually what inspired this drawing was like this Pinterest post that I found. And yeah. It's like I wanted them to be like angels first, but then they just kind of turned into colorful birds. And once this drawing was done, I actually showed it to my mom, and she was like, are these people gay fairies or what? Like, not in a hateful way, she was just asking, but it was so funny. I was just like, Mom, you're so funny, what the hell? Like, why would she say that, bro? But yeah, they are gay fairies. Well, gay angels, I guess. I don't know if they're fairies or angels. I'm not fully sure what they are. I just wanted to draw them with wings, and I did it, and I think it turned out really nice, which is why I'm using this as a speed paint from my video. If this drawing did not turn out nice, I would just throw it in the depths of my art folder, never to be seen again. But I really like how it turned out, like all the vibrant colors and everything. And as I was painting these wings, I was trying to get the shape of the feathers down, but I just couldn't do it, so I relied on the shape of my brush just to do it for me. And I don't think it turned out that great, but it was like passable, so I was like, okay, whatever. And then once I got the flats down, I do, like, my rendering's not that complicated. I just kind of build up the values kind of like you're making a cake, you know, like darkest one first, and then you get lighter and lighter gradually as you go on. And I only really work with like a couple values. Like I only have like 1 or 2 dark values, and then like 1 or 2 light values, and then highlights, like on Archie's face here, the highlight on his forehead, which I didn't put on Arturo because light and dark skin interact with light differently. Like dark skin, I think, kind of, does it reflect or absorb light? I don't know, but like if you look up a tutorial, you will see that light skin kind of reflects the light a lot more, or no, it absorbs it because it becomes a lot brighter. Meanwhile, I think dark skin kind of retains its color a bit more, and then like it reflects it more in like a bit of a highlight. I'm, again, take that with a bag of salt. You should definitely look up a tutorial from a more trusted teacher figure. But yeah, like when you're coloring, just be aware of that. Like if you have characters that have different skin tones, because light and dark skin interact with light differently. And it's actually very fun to like figure out how it works and like figure out how to draw them correctly, because it's like a bit difficult at first, and I don't know, maybe that's just me because I do like a challenge in my hobbies. Well, not the art isn't really a hobby for me. I'm kind of trying to make this my livelihood here, but I don't know, it's just like fun when there's a little bit of a challenge in something that you like to do, at least for me. So sorry, I had like a frog in my throat. And then yeah, once I'm done with the rendering, I move to the background, which like I knew the background wasn't gonna be like a huge part of this drawing. I don't know why the thing has stopped. I think I got up to go do something else. But I knew the background wasn't gonna be like a huge part of this drawing, so I just saved it for last. When you're drawing something and you want the background to be like part of the drawing as the figures are, then yeah, maybe don't save that for last. Maybe do it in the line art phase, like I was doing. Oh, I don't know what that was. Anyway, maybe do it in the line art phase. But yeah, in this piece, I knew that the background wasn't gonna really be a big part of it, so I just saved it for last. And I just kind of wanted like a little pattern. Oh wait, no, I'm rendering the hair. Oops, I don't know why I saved the hair for last. And then I darkened some of the values on Archie's body because he was looking a little flat. And yeah, I kind of played around with what I wanted for the background. Like I tried some flowers because I guess they're fairies, I don't know. And then I did like a pattern thing, and it looks, I mean, it doesn't look bad right now. And then I tried to work in like a gingham pattern, but it was like way too busy and I didn't like it very much. And then I tried to do like some mountains in the background, like some nature, and then here's me doing a gradient map. Gradient maps are so useful. Like if you're a digital artist and you don't know your way around gradient maps, bro, you have to learn, like, because they will help you so much. And I really think they like help unify the colors a lot. And then, but sometimes like when you do gradient maps, they can make the drawing look a little flat. So here I do some posterization to kind of help the colors stand out a bit more. So like once you know your way around like all these effects and everything they do, like it just makes drawing so much easier. And yeah, I think I'm done, and I just save it to my computer, and that's it.